Jeremie, you've got on here a bunch of team leaders from Velocity and all the other organizations. We put the word out earlier this morning. I meant to put it out last night and then forgot. So we're lighter than I thought we would be, but that's okay. We'll record it and make sure everybody gets it. But the biggest concern that not concern, but the biggest thing that these guys are here to learn is like, okay, why are we doing this? First of all, like what's in it for us to like put Medicare as part of the conversation? But then, more realistically, like how do I infuse this into my business? So like, is it a conversation I take from a final expense person? Is it all the leads that I'm currently running? Are there other contacts that I have that I'm not doing business with that I could, reach out to? Does it make sense to send letters out? I mean, a lot of people have asked me, like, how do I get started? How do I actually get moving with this thing once we have our contract? So I figured it'd be awesome to have you on, and I appreciate your mentorship and your help through this. So your floor is yours.
Cool. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Awesome. I felt like I was in a pretty good spot here, and then I see you with the microphone and the headset, and I'm all self-conscious, like, man, I need to like step up my game. I need a logo behind me and all kinds of stuff. So the forum for this, or really what I want to accomplish, is number one, to just be here for you and your team in any way that we possibly can be. I'm not great at a lot of things. God gifted me with the ability to sell. It's all I've ever done. I started selling candy door to door when I was like 13. I was the guy knocking on your door on a Saturday, selling peanut clusters that I told you were going to my college education, and they were like $10 a piece. So it's all I know. And Medicare is kind of the space that I've been in for about 21 years. So my goal is to, number one, give a quick rundown. Nobody needs or wants to hear me talk for too long. So quick rundown on Medicare as a whole, maybe give a couple of thoughts I have on how to add this into your business, which is a topic you brought up, and then I just want to open it up for questions. So let me do this. I'm going to dive right in. Eric, if at any time I'm talking too much and you need to like raise a white piece of paper that tells me to stop because people want to ask questions, just go for it. I love this gig. I'm passionate about it, and so I get pretty excited.
What I am going to do is I'm going to just mute everybody.
So here's the deal, guys and gals. Number one, Medicare's easy. I think that people get overwhelmed because it's, number one, not something that they're used to. But I think more importantly, there's a lot of information that goes out. So what I told Eric when I talked to him the other day is that I don't get in the field anymore. I still sell roughly 100 Medicare policies a year. They're strictly referrals that will do it over the phone. When I left the field, probably 15 years ago, I had broke every record Elder Care had for selling Medicare. Again, not that I'm amazing at what I do, it's just the only thing I'm ever good at. And so they brought me in to work with agents, train, run operations. So, when someone's wife, husband, brother, sister turns 65, they call. If they're like, hey, I'll do it over the phone or on the internet, great. If not, I send an agent to go see them. But the spill is really simple. And so it would go like this as far as an overview. This isn't my presentation, but this is to break it down for you guys. Number one, and most importantly, Medicare supplements. We're talking Med Sup, Eric, not MA. Med Sups are regulated by the federal government. Every single company in every single state, except for a couple, are all regulated. So what that means is that every company that offers insurance to someone has to have the exact same prices, the exact same benefits and products, but they can have different prices, right? So what makes what you guys do or what you guys are going to do amazing is that you have all the products, right? So the way that I would explain it to a consumer is I would say, hey, listen, if you're car shopping and you're looking at a Toyota, right? You drive the Camry, it's amazing, you love it, but you say, hey, before I drive the Camry, I want to run over and drive a Honda. Like that salesperson is going to say, hey, no, don't go drive the Honda. Let me tell you more about my Camry. They don't want you to leave the lot because then they're going to lose the sale. As an independent agent, because all of the products are the same, just like you guys do with Final Expense with a twist, I can offer, when we're talking about cars, Toyota, Chevrolet, it's like I have one big lot that has every car on it, every car manufacturer, and I say, hey, great, all I want to do is take care of you. If you want a Camry, we'll do it. If you want a Chevrolet, we can take care of that for you. So when you're talking about someone who's turning 65 or already on Medicare, there's only 2 plans that you're going to sell to a newly aged in person. You can put everything else aside, so maybe there's 10 available. A G or an N will be all you'll write, okay? A Plan F is one you write for somebody who aged in prior to 2019, so oversimplified. Plan F is the Cadillac of Medicare supplement insurance policies. No copays, no deductibles, no referrals. You tell Miss Smith, you buy this plan, everything you have is paid for. Don't need networks, you can go anywhere. Federal government says that people overutilize that. Basically, they have no skin in the game. So if Eric gets a headache and he's got a Plan F, he just runs to the doctor, they check him out, it costs the government, $500 for him to use it. So that plan is no longer available to people newly aging into Medicare. So 2019, January 1st, if you're turning 65, you cannot get an F. Anybody who was already on Medicare prior to that can get a Plan F, and they can continue to get a Plan F. So when you're talking to a consumer, it's real simple. The federal government said that they don't want you overutilizing. They want you to have to spend money and have skin in the game. So newly aged in people can get a G, right? So, and I know you guys are like G, F, A, B. So I'm going to tie it all in. Stay with me. Medicare Supplement Plan G is just like an F, except it has a deductible of $205 once a year. Okay? So Plan N is just like a G, except it has a $205 deductible. You're going to have a $20 copay when you go to the doctor and a $50 copay when you go to the emergency room. So I'm saying that to say this. Take everything you've heard or feel overwhelmed about Medicare and look at it as 3 plans. You can offer an F to someone who was on Medicare before 2019, or a G or an N to anyone after that. And so when you're talking to a consumer and they want to shop around, the meat and potatoes, I guess, of the whole thing is quite simply that Medicare's plans are standardized. So if you're looking at AARP's Plan G, it's the same Plan G that Blue Cross Blue Shield has. It's the same Plan G that AARP has. I'm sorry, that Mutual of Omaha has, that Cigna has. And so when you set them side by side, the only thing that can be different is the price. So again, tying it into y'all's world, Eric, it's if every single final expense product was exactly the same, but they could charge a different price per thousand. That means, everybody has the same rider for accidental death. It comes on every policy. Think about it from that perspective. And all you're doing is selling price. That's the way a MedSup is. It's a commodity. It's 100% price driven. And so when you're talking to a consumer, it really comes down to Medicare Part A and B, and this is how simple it is. The consumer gets Medicare A because they've worked and paid in over their lifetime. There's no cost. Part B of Medicare, they pay about $170 a month for it, comes straight out of their Social Security check. And then if they want to put a supplement on top of it, they pay, in Arkansas, a Plan G is $122 a month. So you tell a consumer, for $122 a month, anything and everything that you can have done to yourself. You're in the garden, you get overheated, you call an ambulance, they take you to the hospital, you need a bypass surgery, you're going to pay $205 and everything past that's going to be taken care of. It covers all your pre-existing conditions. There's no copays. So again, no referrals. You just show your card. It's very, very easy. I want to stop for 1 second and just see what questions you have before I address a couple of the questions that you threw out.
Yeah, one of the just to recap. So Part A, Medicare Part A is an entitlement that's free. Everybody gets it when they turn 65. Part B is the doctor visits and things like that, and there's a premium for that, right? It's $180.
It's based on income. Now, the more money you make, the more government wants from you. So if you made over a certain amount through your lifetime, you're going to pay a surcharge. But we're just going to call it $177 for simplicity's sake, because that's the average person.
Okay.
One thing to note, you cannot have a Medicare supplement if you do not have A and B, right? Those two, like the supplement won't work without A and B together.
Got it. And then you said the average Part G or Plan G in Arkansas was like $110. You said something like that.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw out something that hopefully you're not like, Jeremie, we already know about this. So there's a tool that we at Elder Care built. We may have showed this to you for integrity. Kind of see right here this integrity icon on my phone. Right? So you click on it and you're going to have to log in and set it up one time. It's a Integrity MedSup quoting tool. It's super great because MedSups are priced by zip code. So you want to run a rate for a MedSup, you type in the zip code, you type in the age and the plan, and you hit search. And this little app that we made that's available to all of you guys is going to give you not only the rates, but it's also going to give you the underwriting guides. So you can click underwriting and a little deal will pop up and it'll be bullet points like can't write somebody that's had a heart attack in the last 2 years. And I don't want to muddy the waters at all, but this app also has the same thing for final expense. So I don't know, you guys probably have, I mean, look, you guys have forgotten more than we ever aspire to know about final expense, but it does give you the same setup where if your guys wanted to check underwriting in a house, kind of like a quick look. But let me throw this out real quick. So the way that you do it is a web-based app. You give your guys and gals a great, easy way to check rates. Just open your browser on your iPhone or even Samsung if that's what you're using. In the web address, the URL bar, just type in the letter T65, so the number 65 .app. So T65.app. Once they open that up, Eric, did I show this to you when you were here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So when you open it up, it's going to ask you to register. And when you register, all you have to do is just basically put your NPN number in and your email address, and then boom. So it'll let you quote everything. And then also, just as a side note, well, I'll just let you look at that from a quoting perspective, and that'll give you some rates and give your guys an easy way to do it. Now, you asked a great question. How do you add this info into your business? And I think that's the $1 million question, because we sell hundreds of thousands of Medicare supplement policies through the course of a year through all of our distribution. These are all the downlines, all the agencies. For whatever reason, there is this idea, I think, within some agents that you just want to make the sale and you want to get out of the house as quick as you can. You're like, they said yes, they gave me their checking account number, they're set up on a bank draft, I don't want to rock the boat. And I think that people more often need your help in navigating things more than they need the sale. And I know I've heard Sean talk about this, so again, it's nothing new. But I think for me, it's just wanting to sit down and find out, what it is that people need. And the tie-in that I make to that when I'm training agents is I say, think about it like this. When you call your doctor and you say, hey, I have a headache, and so you show up and you sit down, the doctor doesn't say, hey, I heard you have a headache, here is your medicine for that, right? They want to check your ears because they want to make sure there's no other problems. So for me, it's an easy transition when your team is in a house and they're like, hey, we're here to talk to you about final expense. Final expense people are Medicare people, right? Because generally speaking, the person that's buying a final expense product isn't the person that retired from a corporate job that has group insurance, that saved well, had a 401k, and so they need a $10,000, $25,000 policy that you guys sell to Middle America, which is who we sell to. And so Middle America needs a Medicare supplement plan. And so if they're 65, it should be very much like the conversation with the doctor, which is just, hey, I know we're taking care of your final expense insurance. Well, I got you here. Who does your Medicare supplement insurance and how much do you pay? And that's it. And from there, I think people want to share because they want the help. And going back to what I said a minute ago, which is I think people oftentimes want to just make that one sale. They don't ask the question and they roll out. we have this little deal, these little notes that we put, and it just says supersize it. And the idea is to overcome that fear of asking for the extra product. And so McDonald's makes millions of dollars a year by asking you, would you like to supersize that? Would you like me to add a pie, to your order? Anytime you go through McDonald's and they ask that question, you don't respond, Eric, by saying, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going to Wendy's since you asked, right? You just say yes or no. And so I think that if we can get our guys to supersize it, which is to ask for this additional product, it's really going to bring these sales that are being made anyway. So we sell tons of MedSup. We don't sell tons of final expense. But the thing that kicks us in the pants every single time is when we call our clients that are on MedSup, they already have final expense, and they generally bought it after we sold them a Medicare supplement policy. So it's like we missed that sale. I can tell you from personal experience, when I was in the field years ago, we had annuities, obviously like you guys do. So we had this program where we're supposed to sell the MedSup, and then we're supposed to fact find in order to get the annuity referral at the time to give to an agent to sell it. So I sold this lady American Pioneer plan, which doesn't mean anything to you, but it was $112 a month. I packed my stuff up. I started to leave the table, and she said, I sure wish you could help me on my investments like you did my Medicare supplement. So I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to have this form that's all sort of crumbled up. I pull it out. I'm literally trying to stretch it out, make it clean. I asked her 5 questions. Back then, we had payphones, and so I went to the payphone. I called the agent that we refer them to, and I said, here's the lady's name. Here's how much she has. I bet all told, I had 4 minutes invested in this deal. He wrote the policy. My commission was $9,800, and that was my split. It was a $20,000 commission. That was a policy she sold me. I did not and would not have ever made that sale had that lady not say, could you help me? And I think as I look back at my career, there's so many houses where I never asked that question, and I left so much money on the table that it's just sick. I mean, I watch y'all's Facebook page and y'all's team, your guys, and what they do. I see the cars people drive, and I'm like, I probably could have bought one of those just on all the sales I never asked for. So I hope that answers your question, and where does it fit in? And I think the short answer of where it fits in is those people are buying that product anyways. Like if it were me and you said, hey, Jeremie, here's my top producer, here's the book of business he or she has, where would you start? I would pull out every single person that they have that's 65 years old or older, and I would say, here are free leads. Like these are people that if you give my team, we'll crush them. And I would call and I would say, hey, my name's Jeremie. I do your life insurance, and I'm really excited to tell you that I'm able to help you in the same way with your Medicare insurance as I did your life insurance. I have a couple of questions for you. Who do you have it with, and how much do you spend? And then that would be my transition. And I imagine with all the leads that you guys have worked or agents have bought that didn't sell, there's probably you guys have probably amassed quite a bit of leads of people that are 65 or older. Do
you find that people that already have Medicare, is it easy to, obviously they're not going to switch unless it's in their best interest to do so. So like, what are the things that you ask to figure if it is in their best interest to look at a quote?
So great question. Steve Patton, who is longtime Aetna rep, said it the best. Steve is phenomenal in the Medicare space. Anybody who writes Aetna knows, Steve Patton. But what he said is that agents have become their own worst enemy because consumers are so conditioned that plans are the same, but the price is different, that even when the annual premium goes up $5 or $6, they're already ready to shop, right? Because that's our pitch is like, hey, Eric, don't stay with company A and pay $15 more a month when I can get you the same exact thing, no better, no worse, for $15 less a month. You're going to save $180 a year. That's a premium and a half. And most people are on a fixed income, living on $1,200 a month Social Security. So over the years, these people know that. And so when you call and you have the conversation, most of them are pretty well versed on it. So again, for me, it would really just be, hey, you're my client. or you sent me this card. So if you sent me this card, you want info, or if you're my client, you know what great service I provide, you're welcome in advance for me being able to take care of you. So I would just say, here's what the cost is. I mean, the thing about Medicare supplement insurance, I think much like final expense insurance, really they're both the same. They're intangible products we sell. Like, you go buy a car, you can kick the tires, you can drive it around, you can peel out. You know what you get when you drive off the lot. These intangible products, cancer, these are things that people buy you, not the product, right? They trust you, not the product, because they have no idea if it's going to work until they have to use it. So the presentation that you give is really about, are they comfortable with you? Did you do a good job explaining it and making them feel good? And if the answer is yes, then, everybody's looking to save money. When people say, when I can save them $200 a year, and they say, I'm happy where I'm at, all that means is I don't like you. I don't feel comfortable, because there's no one out there that, like, I saw you drinking a coffee just now. I don't know where you got it from. But if you showed up and they're like, hey, this coffee's $6, you're not like, hey, that's great, I want to pay you $14. Like, here you go. Now, you may give a tip, but you're not paying more. When people don't want to save money, it's a me thing, right? So then I'm asking the question, like, Eric, hey, I hear what you're saying, but if you don't mind, like, I never hear people say that they don't want to save money. So talk me through what your concern is. Because there's a concern that I've got to knock out, an objection that they're just not, people don't want to say, hey, I just don't like you. Hey, I don't trust you. Hey, I don't believe you. And so I would want to have that conversation with them and figure out, what the hang up is.
Do you want to talk at all about prescription drug plans or things like that? Because I know those are, especially on the med sup side, people typically need those, right?
Yeah. So I kind of go straight to the horse's mouth on all prescription drug plans. I go to Medicare.gov, so just Medicare.gov. There's a little tab that says Compare Prescription Drug Plans. What I do is click that. I type in your medication, the dosage, and the frequency. So what the name is, how many milligrams, and how many times a day you take it, what your pharmacy is, and then I hit search. Medicare searches, and they do those based on annual cost. So if your premium is $13 and your copays are $40 a month, means your monthly cost is $53 times 12. That's what your drugs are going to cost. And then I tell you, hey, I just searched your medications out on Medicare.gov. Here's what they cost. And then I'm going to enroll you right there through Medicare Center. Integrity has tremendous tools for the Medicare space. I'm sure they have the same things for final expense, but on the Medicare side, we use Medicare Center for enrollments. That's how you stay compliant through your process of people clicking the links. So it's an easy way to not only stay compliant, but to make sure that you're pushing out the correct information.
Yep. I wish that they had as good tools for us on final expense as they do for Medicare. This stuff is amazing, but anybody else have any questions? I know I had a couple that people texted me saying, just off to the side, Jeremie, great training. They really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll just open the floor. If anybody has any questions for Jeremie, you're welcome to ask.
Somebody just needs to make up some questions, so I feel like I'm needed here. The silence is just
tough, right? It is tough.
I know. I need someone just to make up a dumb question and chime in and say that it was amazing and you just need to know this.
Oh, there's Renee. Do all the supplement plans? Thank you, Renee. That's great. That's
Renee, thank you for making me feel better.
Do all the supplement plans allow all pre-existing conditions? That is a good question.
Yeah. So the way a supplement works is just like a final expense in that it's simplified issue. They do sometimes do a script check, but it's going to be yes or no questions on an application. Have you had a heart attack in the last 2 years? Have you had cancer in the last 2 years? If you answer no and the policy is approved, then all your pre-existing conditions are required by law to be covered. So they cannot approve you and then come back and decline a claim. The only exception is if they resend the policy and it has a 2-year look back. So if I ask you, Eric, have you had cancer in the last 2 years, and you say no, but you're taking chemotherapy, you have a cancer claim, they check that, then that would be problematic. In 21 years, I've never had a policy rescinded. And that doesn't mean that I haven't written somebody that should have been. It just means that it's such a rare occurrence because everything is filed automatically through the system. So MedSups have automatic claim filing, so you're not doing any paperwork when there's a service that needs to be done. So unless the system flags it, it's just going to process through.
Okay. And if somebody does get flagged for, like if they get rejected because, let's say they're not, they don't fit the underwriting profile, then do they have backup options? I guess different carriers might allow them.
So AARP offers what we would call guarantee issue. It pretty much is. It's like, are you currently in the hospital or do you expect to die, in the next 12 months? That last question is kind of exaggerated, but that's really the only option that you have. Now, Medicare Advantage are effectively all guarantee issue, but that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day, I feel like.
Yep. And then Francesca asked, do we have the ability to offer Medicare Advantage plans also? So, yeah, the answer to that is yes, Francesca. So we're not we're not doing training on it now. We're going to be doing training on Medicare Advantage when the new Medicare Advantage certifications drop for 2023. And if you're currently selling Med Advantage, you can move your contracts to us and we'll help you get it. So if people have questions after this, if you want to text me directly, you can use my cell phone 202-386-0000, or you can, if you're part of Velocity in the tribe, you can hop on our Slack and drop me some direct messages. But I'm happy to take your questions and maybe get a sheet of answers out to everybody as well when we post the video for this. So I appreciate you, Jeremie. Thank you.
So hello, everybody. Welcome again to Family First Life Supplemental. This is Ron Miller. And today we're going to go over some steps with Mr. Shane Kirkland with Attentive. Shane has been with Attentive for many years. And again, this is something that's going to help you guys on the supplemental part to sell more supplemental insurance, the cancer, heart attack, stroke, the accidents with Cigna. So go ahead, Mr. Shane, take it away.
Thanks, Ron. Today, gang, what we're going to look at is the backside, the portal, the actual user experience for what your clients see, what they're getting for the $800 or the $1,125 that we deduct and then reimburse, and how they actually utilize the program, the preventative care management program. So bear with me. I'm going to do a quick screen share, show you the portal, do a quick walkthrough, and hopefully make it a little easier for you to understand exactly how what we do works. So everybody that is a member of the Attentive program will go to ahwus.com, and you'll see its home, who we are, how we help, how it works. They will click on the members link. If you're on a screen and you don't have a members link, you can click on the three lines here and it'll bring it up on the side as well. So we're going to go to the members link. Everyone has their own personal login. I've already logged in previously, but there'll be a login screen. It'll be their name and their individual password. And this is what's going to pop up on their screen. Let me move you over here out of the way. So you'll see a few things. Select language. First and foremost, anyone of any language almost can utilize our portal. And all they have to do is click on the Google Translate, click on the language of their choice, and it instantaneously changes to whatever language they want to read this information in. So we're going to go back to English. And I'm going to show you how simple this portal is to navigate. All of your menu items are on the left side of the screen. Whatever you click on the left side of the screen, it's going to show you in the middle. So it's got your name. It's going to have the date, of course, your language. You've got a point system up here in the right-hand corner. Mine is 6,350 points. They don't really mean anything unless an employer wants to gamify this and tell their employees whoever utilizes this the most, we'll give them a $20 gift card or something like that. And they can certainly do that because it's not embedded into the plan or it's not part of the program. It's an individual incentivization. So they can do that if they would like. You'll notice a plus sign and then a telephone. The plus sign is where they update activities such as sports activities, nutrition, sleep, water, blood pressure, weight. or update their well-being score. So the very, very first time an employee logs into this system, they're going to be asked to do a 6-minute questionnaire. It's called a well-being score. It's going to ask them 3 different things. It's going to do physical, mental, and actual health, like their actual health. They'll fill that out, and then it'll give them a well-being score. My score is 65%. I'm pretty good, healthy, mentally and physically. Not great, but I'm in decent shape. And about every year or so, it'll give them a reminder to go in and redo their health score in case they've had any health changes, weight changes, things of that nature. So they can track their progress. If they need to utilize any of the services inside the plan, they click on the telephone. And this can be accessed, of course, by telephone. It can be accessed by computer or tablet. But if they need to call the digital medicine, the United Concierge Medicine, they can click on it here. They need to do Corp Care, they can click here, or if they need to use Dial Care, they can click here, which will call and make an appointment with them. The average wait time is less than 10 minutes for each one of our providers. So that's how easy it is to access help with any of our providers. We also have benefits listed and healthy tips listed. So you'll see mine says it's time for a well-being score. Let's do it. I can click here and it's going to take me to update my well-being score. I'm not going to do that on the call today, but just so you know, all of your clients will be, I guess, not required, but it's a suggestion. Hey, let's get you back on track. So that way we know they're going to use their utilization every year. We have healthy tips every morning or every time they log in, they're going to have a healthy tip, as well as Ava, Attentive's virtual assistant, will also give up a healthy tip every time they log in. Hi Shane, how often are you motivated to be physically active? Every day. And then it'll give you tips on what you can do there to stay healthy. On the benefits, you'll see below I have active benefits. These are the benefits I have activated inside the portal. Then it has other recommended benefits that I can utilize as well. But if you click on the benefits tab, it'll give you every benefit available. So you can look and see every benefit there. The great thing is before they activate a benefit, they can go in and just review what that benefit is. So if I want to look at the Mayo Clinic diabetes diet, I can click on it and I'll have like a 1 or 2 minute little video that I can play and I can read about the benefit and then scan the code or do whatever I need to do over here to activate the benefit. Then to close out, of course, just click on the purple X. All of our benefits have a small video with the exception of 2 or 3, but they all have a description of what their goal is and what it's used for. If a member wants to see their progress, they click on the progress tab and they can see their well-being score and how it's changed. Now mine looks like a heart monitor because I've done many webinars doing demos. So I'll go in and do a health score or well-being score. And sometimes I just click through. So my well-being score doesn't really jump up and down like this. It actually has improved quite a bit. I'm not down 2%. I'm actually a lot less heavier than I was when I started this venture. But it gives them their sleep data, water intake, blood pressure, gives you your weight the last 4 weeks or anything that you're logging. And the great thing is this will log to Apple Watches, Samsung Watches, and some of the other data. Mine is not, I don't have one on, so mine's not logging that every day. Healthy tips on the left side. If you're looking for information for a certain thing, this is where all of the healthy tips are located. You can scroll through and look at any healthy tip. You can search them. Up here on the top left corner, you can search any type of healthy tip you want to see. You can click on the little heart to save it for later, so you can read it later if it's something that interests you as well. And then we have an eShop in here as well. Now, these programs are not part of the preventative care management program because they may or may not be 213D compliant. So we can't just add them in as part of the cost. So some of these things have a cost. They don't have to use these programs, but we make them available. Like the listener is just, pretty much makes sense. It's hearing aid type stuff. We have our own Attentive RX card that they can click on this. Let me make sure that shows this. And with it, did that show up, Ron? Can you see the Attentive RX page?
Yes. Yeah.
So they can download the Attentive RX card, learn more about it, print their card, and it's basically a prescription discount card is what it is. So they can utilize that as well. And then go back to my screen here. Hit the wrong button, but that's okay. Let me go back in here, members. The 4 Eyes, I'm going to share my whole screen so you can see my whole screen when I change. 4 Eyes is an eye exam, Glasses USA, the same thing. New Choice Health, Vitamin Patch, Score Master. We update our vendors in here every once in a while. New Choice Health is pretty neat. Let's say you're talking to a client that has a high deductible health plan. Someone hasn't met their deductible, but they need an expensive service. City and state, I'm in the Florence, Alabama area. Let's say I need an MRI and I really need like a brain scan. It's going to tell me I have the wrong area because I didn't capitalize Florence, Alabama. I can click submit and it will tell me that for Florence, Alabama, a great price is $600. The fair price is $850. Expenses is $1,550 for this MRI. And then it'll tell me which service or which service center or hospital or MRI or radiology place I can go to and what the average cost is. So before I schedule anything, I can look at the cost of the benefit and then schedule that service. So if I've got a $5,000 deductible, I don't necessarily want to go to Eliza Coffee Hospital and spend $2,300 on an MRI. I'm going to go to either Lister Radiology or Renaissance Imaging Services and save a lot of my money. So just other little things available inside of our program to help the employees. And then we'll back out of that. Go back over here to members. Vitamin Patch, we have the Vitamin Patch and a couple of others. And then settings are real simple. It's just your name, address, city, state, zip, your biological information, then log out. And we're not going to log out. But one of the things down here on the very bottom, SPD documents, that is your summary plan description documents. So one of the things that people get out of compliance, your cases get out of compliance on is they don't give their employees their summary plan descriptions for the cafeteria plan or the preventative care plan or anything like that. So we will house all of the summary plan descriptions for every client inside the portal. So they can see the summary plan description for this program. They keep scrolling, then they'll see the section 125 for the premium only. And so all of the summary plan descriptions are attached to our portal. So it's very simple to navigate, very, very simple plan. Not hard to do. Again, all they have to do is click on members when they go in. It'll log them in. Menu on the left, information to reach out to a service provider on the right. And then whatever your menu item you clicked on will show up in the center of the screen. So a real simple portal to navigate. We wanted to make it as easy for our clients to utilize as humanly possible. And again, every benefit that is available is listed here. Not only will they see this, but every member will also get a digital copy of every benefit and a brief description of each emailed to them once they log in, with directions on how to log in and how to utilize this portal as well. So really, Ron, that's it. That's the portal in a nutshell. Real simple process. Any questions or anything we need to touch on? Yeah, I think you're on mute.
So thank you again for this explanation. So everyone, this attentive tool that we now have in our tool belt is really going to like blow everything else out of the water as far as helping protect more individuals out there on the supplemental side. So again, as far as attentive goes, we're now able to go into these businesses and with these employers offer a tax savings per employee that's going to participate in attentive, at the same time be able to get the employees pretty much free supplemental insurance, anywhere from on average 125 to 200 plus for taking part in this attentive program. You saw all the different benefits for being an attentive member. With the portal, that artificial intelligence that they've created in this portal also allows them to be a part of teledentistry, telehealth, where with other insurance plans like Blue Cross Blue Shield, an employee that has something like that, they still have to pay a deductible in order to participate or take part in that teledoc. With the attentive, that's 100% free with this program. And again, going over this portal with Shane has been a blessing, I would say, with what we're doing. If there's any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to myself. Again, my number is 512-626-5162, or you can also reach us through our my email address is ron@fflsup.com. You can also go to our website, www.fflsup.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Other than that, Shane, I want to say thank you again for the explanation of the portal, and stay tuned, everybody. We'll have something more coming up in the next weeks to come with attentive. Thank you.